Today we are speaking with April Chang, founder and CEO at 10 by 10. Welcome, April.
Hey, thank you so much, Sara.
Before we get started, why don't you share a little bit about yourself?
Oh, I'm April Chang. My background is engineering. I grew up as an engineer. Before I started 10 by 10, I was VP of engineering at multiple startups from early stage to pre-IPO company. As VP of engineering, one of my biggest challenges have always been how do I find and build my team? So at my last job, when we raised Series B, the number one OKR for the company was to hire the engineers we need to build a lot of features. And so as VP of engineering with recruiters on board, it's still really hard to find the top engineers in San Francisco area. I got really desperate. I found all the recruiters I can find with all my CEO friends. I start with maybe 5, 10, 20, 30, 40. At the end, I went through more than 50, 60 recruiters to be able to get enough candidates to the top of the funnel that's high quality. So I was able to hire about 20 engineers in less than 6 months during super competitive time. And that experience was so painful. I was thinking like, why isn't there a solution out there? Provide a single stop shop, and then I can just have a platform to have access to all these recruiters with one relationship. So that's what my company is 10 by 10 by providing a platform to allow employers who need to hire the best fast to be 10 times faster and 10 times easier for them.
That's great. And do you see quality and speed as the only problems that you're seeing out there to solve for, or are there any others in the recruiting space for engineers?
Recruiting is super hard for engineers. Is that speed and quality is at the beginning, but for highly competitive situations, especially startup, we went to YC. So YC companies, they always want the best of the best, top 0.1%, 0.1%. And for those people, everyone wants them. So it's not just about you find the people, it's also how you interview them and how do you provide experience. At the end, the best of best typically have multiple offers that you need to compete with.
Okay, thank you. And I know that AI is a big component of the platform. So how are you using AI? Like what capabilities and how is it supporting this process?
So I think definition of AI has changed quite a bit. Recruiting is a very complex process. So if you look at from the top of the funnel, how do you find the people you want? AI can help tremendously. Before AI, like today's AI, recruiters, they need to go to LinkedIn manually, literally look at the LinkedIn profile one by line and then find the right one, right? And there's tools obviously can help speed up the filtering. But with AI, there's so much innovation that with AI agents, sometimes, it can literally do the clicking for you. There's a lot of AI solutions. It's still relatively early, but in the next year, maybe even small number of months, I can see AI will make traditional sourcing much faster because at the end of the day, AI can read more data than any human can in seconds.
And how are you using it in 10 by 10?
So how we use it is different from like other companies. So I'm just talking about how AI can help sourcing. And the other thing, AI can read data very fast and can retain knowledge much better than what human can. So when recruiters trying to match candidates with a particular job, AI can go out, find a lot more information about the people. Right. Like if you're hiring a marketing people, AI can go out to see all the social footprint of this marketer. In the case of engineers, AI can go out to read through GitHub to see what kind of code they have available, what kind of answer they have provided in the engineering community. So AI can do a much better job than a human recruiter can. The other thing AI can help, which we have been doing for a long time, is the matching. candidate has a lot of information, employer has a lot of preferences. How do you match them to ensure good matching? And I'm sure you probably heard about like AI bias. So AI bias can go both ways. If you don't do it smartly, AI is trying to learn what human does, and if human have a bias, AI just repeat the bias. But on the other hand, AI also do what human tell the AI to do. We can also configure the AI, say, hey, this is a bias. This set of things don't, you can compensate by teaching AI, say, this is indeed a bias.
That's great. And can you give an example of a use case or a customer story that was successful with your platform?
Oh, there's so many. Right? So the reason, yeah, when you start a company, you want it to be like not just 2 times better, right? You want it to be a lot better. That's why I named my company 10 by 10. We want it to be 10 times better and 10 times easier for our customers. So for instance, hiring, it is difficult, very competitive in startup ecosystem because there's a very small pool of candidates. They want to work at startups versus big tech. So for example, talk about 10 times faster. How fast can we be? One of the YC company, a Series A company called Super Order, within 24 hours when they found us, we start working with them. 24 hours, we were able to give them 10 best of the best senior engineer. I challenge any any recruiting solution can do that. Traditional solution within 24 hours, they may just reach out to people. It's not ready for the company to interview yet. That's just one example. Another example, another YC company, we helped them hire 7 engineers in 7 weeks to the point like, slow down, like we cannot onboard any more engineers. And another company, they have some like really urgent customer deliverables, so they need to get people hired yesterday. So when they came to us, literally within 2 months, we were able to get like 6 people onboarded. It's very difficult to hire positions. So there's so many that I think the secret sauce is working with us is not working with a single human. You're working with lots of human recruiters plus supplemented by AI technology. That's how we can deliver so fast.
Yeah, that's great. The expanding reach, but the speed and I guess knowledge capacity of the AI just, makes it work really well. Um, I know you mentioned that the market is highly competitive for these top engineers. And I've also heard that AI can bring some additional challenges with engineers because now it can do some of the work. And correct me if I'm wrong with that. But, how do you see hiring changing for companies and for the engineering candidates because of this? And what advice would you offer them?
So I think AI is changing everything, Sarah. It's not just engineers. Obviously, engineers is heavily influenced by AI because writing code used to be very tedious. You have to, you have to write many lines of code. You have to type every single character by hand. And with AI, literally, you can have a single prompt now. Literally say, hey, build me an Airbnb clone, build a Uber clone, build a Calendly clone. Literally, like a couple prompts, you can build the whole thing. However, AI is not quite there to build things that's really scalable and secure. All the senior engineers, principal engineers, all the experienced engineers think about like, hey, AI is very good at building like the first prototyping, but all the issues, complexity with scale, AI is not quite there today yet. And so even think about like marketers, right? Like the messaging, AI can help you write the messaging a lot faster and give you like 5 variations with different tone and different preferences. And AI can, even as a salesperson, where you want to outreach people, it literally can draft, look at what customer need and then what your product provide and provide a much better customized, personalized messaging. And then all the sequencing, you can just generate a different variation of sequencing by giving a very little prompt. So it's changing everything. But I think AI is still pretty far from have the human EQ and the relationship. part. I think AI can help people who knows how to leverage AI be literally 10 times more productive than without AI. But for AI to completely replace engineers or human on another job, I think is still pretty far, especially require relationship.
I agree with you on that. The relation part is still, I think, will always be important. So it's how do we create that balance between the two? I'd love to talk a little bit now about you as a founder and CEO. Can you explain, from your founder's lens, how you're spending your time at 10 by 10 and where your primary focus is? Is it in the platform? Is it scaling adoption? Is it customer conversions? What's most important to you?
So I think as a founder, it's really, really fun and challenging at the same time, right? Like when you work for a company, you have a job, right? Like my job was engineering. I may sometimes run customer service. I may product. I may design. You have a function, but there's someone else take care of whatever. As a founder, you own everything, even though you have people do some function, but at the end of the day, you are accountable for everything. So I think the challenge is not specific for a particular area. The challenge is you are accountable for everything. And then as a startup, there's always challenges and surprise popping out every single day.
And is there kind of one thing that if you could fix right now to immediately help you reach one or solve for one of those, daily problems? Is there something in particular that would be?
For me personally, that I am a little bit a tool geek. Like I really like to use tool to help me do things easier and faster. And the amount of changes is incredible. Like I feel like Sarah, you and I both have been in industry for a long time, right? So I feel like in the past, every time new technology comes, like when the internet browser come along, when the mobile come along, you know it's going to change the world, but you can kind of see how it's going to change the world at what speed. But now with AI, it's the speed often surprised me how fast it changed. And it changed so drastically that I think my challenge is just literally keeping up and thinking about what's going to happen with our industry. And this is the first time in my career I feel like I really don't know. I really don't know what life is going to be a year from now versus in the past, like even with mobile, you can work faster. You can kind of, hey, that may happen a year from now, maybe 6 months. But now I feel like there's so much unknown. So I'm constantly, if anyone have suggestions, how do I keep up with all the new things coming out now and how AI is changing? That would be super interesting for me.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a point I've never thought of.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought of like AI advancing so quickly and so bringing things like products to market. How do you manage that if by the time you release something, the next day you're ready to release something else? But, one of the things that I've also done, at least on the marketing side and marketing sales, is implement the tech stack. So, and there's an investment there because some of these could be, tens of thousands of dollars for the year. But if the technology is changing so fast and there are new entrants that could be better or current ones that advance, faster than the one that you're currently using, and implementation can be, kind of a pain as well. How do you know which ones are going to be the right ones to choose? Because usually it's an investment for a few years. So
Sarah,
that is interesting.
that's the exact challenge. For example, right, it was a no-brainer just like pay Calendly, right? But now I can build a Calendly myself using AI in no time. So all these tools, should invest the time to pay and use the tool. I can like literally guess like something is coming. I know it's coming. I don't know which company is going to do that, or literally just build it yourself and then it will be totally customized for you. So I think a lot of founders probably are going through this trying to decide, what tools they will be using. Even Salesforce, right? Everyone use Salesforce, but we really need Salesforce, a year or 2 years now, or there will be something totally different. I don't know. It's expensive, right? It's not cheap.
It is expensive. Yeah, I mean, sales, it could be in the hundreds of thousands of dollars depending on the company. So looking ahead for your company in the next, say, 6 months to 2 years, for both your product and the impact on just hiring in general, do you have any key goals or initiatives that you're focused on?
So I think my industry probably will be impacted by AI a lot because so I think the biggest challenge for me is really stay close with the customers to see how customers are adopting AI versus they prefer the kind of the human component part of the recruiting. Recruiting is not 100% like technology driven SaaS solution. It's part of it, but for hiring to actually happen, a lot of times it's a very human decision on both sides. So typically there's some human involved. So it's for me to kind of understand. For example, there's companies for a while now using AI interviewer, for example, right? And then are candidates going to accept AI interviewer or not? It's going to impact my industry a lot, recruiting industry. And then remember, like the, before pandemic. Okay, so when we use Zoom and then you say, "Hey, I want to record this," a lot of people will be like step back, like, "What do you mean you want to record this?" But after pandemic, people are used to just, "Okay, you want to record this, fine." So I feel like the AI interviewer can go that direction. Of course, AI interviewer can interview me, or maybe people just feel like, hey, I don't want AI interviewer to interview me. And I don't know. I don't have the answer for you, but that's something my company need to pay a lot of attention to how human is accepting AI technology in the recruiting industry.
I've had a couple other people on this podcast who do have the AI interview and they use it differently. One is in recruiting and one is for more like sales. And I'd say to gather information for product development. So for feedback, basically. And they say that it takes away kind of the fear out of communicating what it is that they really desire. So when you're not talking to a person, they found that people were actually opening up more.
It could be like some people would prefer this, some people would prefer that. Another interesting part about AI is also say you have AI interviewer, right? And then you have candidate. But it's also an issue. There's many instances of people have like AI candidate using deepfake. It's not even the real person. So when you have an AI interviewer and fake AI candidate talking to each other, what does that mean, right? If you look forward, I'm not actually surprised at some point recruiting will evolve to the first step is no human involved. It's really AI agents from the company side, AI agents from the candidate side. They they communicate with each other and provide information to each other to see if it's even worse for human to get involved. But then you create another set of problems that you look at X, you look at LinkedIn, there's so many like fake players in there. So now how does AI deal with the fake players? It's also going to be challenges. And we hear this from both sides. From candidate side, they say, hey, they just apply job. It take, people apply to hundreds and thousands of jobs. A lot of jobs are fake. People are trying to spam, collecting resumes, collecting their contact information. And a lot of employees don't take down the jobs when they are not hiring anymore. And that's why our company is very good for like top tier people because all the company we introduce them, they pay us. So we know for sure it's a real job, a real company. They get feedback very quickly, often within 24 hours. But on the company side, it's on the candidate side, they have to fight with fake jobs. On the company side, they are also fighting with fake candidates. We have companies came to us, many companies came to us, feel so frustrated. They say literally 90% of the applicants is pretty clear they are fake. So AI is making very easy to just like tailor the resume and you crawl all the job and you just like spam everywhere.
I have definitely been victim to the fake post and the fake
Fake
outreach
job post.
for
Yeah.
yeah, but What would be the benefit of being a fake candidate?
There's so many. There's so many. You will be surprised, Sarah, how many fake candidates are out there. And typically, fake candidates, they go after remote jobs. Okay. So I have so many stories. We can do the whole podcast about the fake candidates because I got a lot of friends and I hear all kinds of stories and it's my friends. I know it's real. So the one that just blew my mind, even for me, was there was fake. It's a real candidate, but they use a like actor to be the interviewer, to be the interviewee. So the real person can actually listen to the question, to ChatGPT and kind of just tell the person what to say. So they can focus on figure out what to say to the interviewer. And the company, and then, so when my friend's company hire a person, they realized was not the person actually went through the interview process. And then so now they start to make sure like if company have a say 3-step interview process, they have the interviewer and have picture or go to the second interview to make sure it's the same person goes through the interview process end to end. Even with that, people are using deepfake. There's if you like Google it, it's they make it look like it's the same person goes through the interview process using deepfake, and so they can get a job. But it's worse than that. It's not just getting a job. For remote job, there's companies. What they do is they have someone go through the interview process to get a job, and then they have a team to actually do the job. So they may have an offshore team to do the job, but they have like, I'm not sure call it professional interviewees. They have people to just secure the job, right? And they get paid like Silicon Valley, say 100, 200K, but they can actually outsource a lot of the jobs to lower class people to do a big part of the job.
It is crazy. It's creative, but yes, it is crazy.
It's the reality.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of nuts. I want to get back to something that you said that one of your priorities is to stay close to customers. And so, what are you doing right now for that? And what are you doing to get new customers?
So there's like existing customers and new customers. So I think the best type of new customers are word of mouth referrals. So what we do is we a very large, I would say a good 95% of our customers are coming from either repeat customers, they from funding, we help them hire the funding team, they go to C, Series A, Series B. That's when they start to, if they go to Series C, they may have hired the internal recruiters. They only use us for like specialty or bulk hire. So that's the best type of customer. So we spend a lot of effort to keep our current customer happy, and they typically will come back. So the acquisition cost is zero when customer come back and refer customer to us. That's our biggest focus, is to keep the customer happy and get referrals. Outbound is getting pretty crazy out there, especially with AI. Everyone is getting so much outbound. It's hard to stand out in the noise. As good as we are, right? We literally are 10 times better and 10 times easier, 10 times faster than our competitors. But when you do outbound, everyone can say that. So how does a potential customer know we are much better than other people? Yeah. So sorry. The other part is I'm lucky enough. I went to Y Combinator, so I think the Y Combinator company that we have a little bit credibility just because we are in the same community.
We're getting towards the last question. The importance isn't just about hiring the right people. It's also making sure sales happen at the same time. And they could be supporting the chief financial officer, because every time a deal comes in, that's more money to be able to hire someone else. And so how do we factor that in? So recruiters have, their job isn't just about finding the right people. It's about ensuring how money is going to be spent well in the company, and hiring the right people and building hiring plans is a huge part of that.
So first of all, I want to, one of the best part of my job is to be a leverage for other founders, other companies. So the reason I started a company is before I started the company, I was thinking about what type of company I can start that will have the biggest impact, ideally impact like billions and billions of people. And the reason I start a recruiting company is for any company to grow, you have to hire the right people. The right people are going to help you grow the company. The wrong people is going to can potentially kill the company. So the reason I do recruiting is I can not just help my company to be successful, I can help lots of company to be successful. So when you think about recruiting, a lot of times people, it's very time consuming. It's very hard. And when a position is open for like 2 months, right? It's not just 2 months, especially the VC funded company. For you to go from the current round to the next round, there's metrics you need to hit. If you take 2 or 3 months to hire, God forbid, and hire the wrong people, it's going to be a huge impact to the company. And also sometimes people say, oh, recruiting is so expensive. Yes, it's expensive. Anything hard is going to be expensive because it takes effort. However, I have the highest fee a company have pay us literally is like, hey, if you can get this person hired in the next 2 weeks, we will pay you 100K bonus. The reason is they need it so badly that they know that 2 weeks versus 2 months is going to be a huge impact to what a company need. So it's not just how much money you spend on a recruiter, it's also if you have the right person on board today, how much faster, if your company's revenue is 10 million, is 20 million, what's the impact to the company growth? So I think if you can find a good recruiting partner who can really help you find the right person, have your best interest in mind, give you advice on this, why this person is not just a good skill fit, it's also a good cultural fit, help you with, hey, if this candidate has 3 5 offers, how to give your company the best chance to actually secure the person so they can help you move the needle quickly. It's going to help a lot of VC companies to grow fast. For instance, one of the company we helped and hire like 6 founding engineers, they are doing incredibly well because they were able to get the key people on board in very short period of time.
Mm-hmm. And I've also heard that, when somebody leaves a company, the whole process can cost the company that person's salary just with the whole process of looking and onboarding them and ramping them up. So it's extremely important and cost effective to find, the right
The
person right
right
away.
people
Yeah.
and human are hard. That's uh, AI is, it do what you want, the same as software, right? It does what you tell the software to do. But human is very complex and it's very hard. This is a true story I want to share with you that it's not just about finding a person. That's only step one. Once you get a person on board, boarding, setting the right expectation, what you want the person to do, day one, 7 days, a month, 30, 60, 90 days plan. You need to be very clear with the person and also provide the support. So when one of our candidate quit, after less than a month, and we were like, you were so excited. Both sides were so excited. Like, what happened, right? So what happened was the company is busy. A lot of startup, they are busy. People are working like, 7 days a week. They are busy. But for a new hire, they need some direction. They need some information to be productive. And this engineer said, hey, I waited a week. I did everything I could. I read all the documentation, but I still need to have a clear direction on what I need to be working on. And unfortunately, the manager just had a new baby, was busy. And then he was just not getting anywhere. He tried to set up one-on-one and got canceled after 3 times. And then another 2 weeks go by. I don't come here to do practically nothing, to do whatever I can figure out. He just feel like I'm not making an impact. Like I'm just doing something is I can find rather than something can move the needle. So onboarding is really, really important. And you are right that if someone quit, it's not just causing how much you pay this person, because hire a person is an investment, right? You can get lucky. We get lucky quite a few times. The first submission is the person they hire. But a lot of times, especially seed earlier stage company don't have the best practice for hiring yet. So they kind of evolve what they are looking for through the process. So it could be like many, many, many hours before they hire the next person.
Hours is better than weeks or months.
Yeah.
So, April, if someone wants to learn about 10 by 10, where would be the best place for them to go to get more information?
Yeah, so my email is just April at 10by10.io. So our website is just www.10by10.io. And Sarah, thank you for the opportunity to talk to you. So anyone that come from your referral, I'm happy to talk to the person and be a friend. So recruiting is not easy, and I'm happy to be a resource for a company who have recruiting challenges, and also learn from the companies that, hey, what are you doing with AI? Like it's moving so fast, and every founder, every CEO I talk to, I learn something from them as well. Obviously, I'm very happy to provide the advice and guidance on what's out there for recruiting. But I feel like the industry is moving so fast. We got to like keep on learning from each other.
That's great, April. Thank you so much for joining.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.